What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reacting video. We got every NFL team's worst first round pick since 2010. Let's check this out.
NFL draft right around the corner. I want to do a video on every NFL team's worst first round pick since 2010, and I will be doing this in alphabetical order. So we're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals.
All right.
The Arizona Cardinals select
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen.
Listen, the Josh Rosen we saw,
Bro, what was crazy about this nigga said there were 9 mistakes taken in front of him, and then he ended up getting traded his second season.
So in college, at
Crazy.
UCLA, Rosen put up 9.
Exactly why you don't talk shit if you can't back it up, bro.
In just his 3 seasons,
especially in the NFL.
He also add on multiple Pac-12 awards, and then he went into the draft where he was chosen with the 10th overall pick by the Cardinals, of course. Not too long after, Rosen would make the quote of his life.
There were 9 mistakes made ahead of me.
That quote was alluding to the 9 players drafted ahead.
Yo,
of
that's
Josh
the only
Rosen,
thing he gonna be remembered by, bro.
That quote aged like milk. Rosen threw for 2,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, 14 interceptions in his rookie season, but he was so bad that they got the #1 pick. They drafted Kyler Murray and traded Rosen to the Dolphins. On the Dolphins, he didn't do much either. He had 5 interceptions and 1 touchdown in his lone season there. He played another season in Atlanta, didn't do nothing there, and the last time we saw him on a roster was in 2022 with Minnesota. And the latest
I didn't even know he was even still in the league in
he was
2022, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
At the University of Pennsylvania.
Draft. The Atlanta Falcons select Takkarist McKinley.
Oh, Takk McKinley. I was really hoping he was going, you know what I'm saying, be the next great edge rusher, bro.
Career. As his last season, he recorded 10 sacks and made first team all Pac-12. Then he entered the draft where he was picked in the first round for the 26th overall pick by the Falcons. Now, after recovering from a torn labrum before the season started, he played all 16 games, recording 20 tackles, 6 sacks. That was 4th among rookies and second on his team behind Adrian Claiborne. Of course, the next season, McKinley got better. He had 22 tackles and he had 7 sacks leading the team. Now, in 2019, his numbers were up and down. He had 29 tackles, but his numbers dropped in sacks from 7 to 3.5. And on top of that, he was placed on IR after week 15. In the 2020 season, McKinley publicly requested a trade, but it was then revealed that he was probably requesting a trade back in 2019, and after 4 games, they would then waive him. He was soon picked up by the Raiders though, but he wouldn't play a game there, and then in the offseason, he would sign a 1-year contract with the Cleveland Browns.
I think I remember that year.
1 year with the Browns, he would then sign to the practice squad of the Titans, Rams, Cowboys, and Jets.
God damn, nigga.
As recently as I can find, he was released by the Jets in 2024. And who knows if he'll be picked up again by another team this offseason.
He might be out of the league. Brashad Perriman. I remember this shit, bro. This nigga was so horrible.
At UCF is really his combine workout.
Oh my gosh.
See,
this exactly why you never go based off the combine, bro.
2,200 yards.
You gotta watch film. Like, cause the combine can be very misleading. John Ross, Zach Wilson, you know what I'm saying?
Really turned the head of many scouts. So the Ravens decided to take a chance on Perriman with the 26th overall pick. Now, there was a setback after he got drafted because he suffered an injury and wasn't able to play his rookie year. But the next season, Perriman would make his NFL debut against the Bills, where he had 1 reception for 35 yards. And to end that season, he had 499 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. Despite this solid year, the next season he only had 77 receiving yards.
He was just all speed for real.
To pick up his 5th-year option. But after being released by the Ravens, picked up by the Redskins, then released by them as well, he was then signed by the Browns, where he spent a year there, and then he went to the Buccaneers, where he had a career year there. On the Bucks, Perriman had 645 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns.
That's crazy. That's 645 yards in a career year.
Yards and 3 touchdowns. Then in 2021, Perriman was signed back with the
That's
Bucks,
how you know you
and that
bad,
was the last time we seen him on the NFL field.
The Buffalo Bills select Kaiir Elam.
Hey, Ravens fans, hey, every time we hear the last name Elam, bro, we get PTSD from that shit too, nigga.
Team and second team on SEC.
That nigga mad Elam, bro.
Into the draft where the Bills traded with the 23rd overall pick. And this was a Bills team that needed a future star corner, so they thought Elam was going to be that player. And his rookie season was okay. He played 13 games, started 6 games.
That's why I was very glad we didn't draft this nigga, bro.
He wasn't able to build on in his second season because
isn't this like his nephew or some shit?
He was activated for the playoffs. This past season was his last with the Bills. He played in 13 games, and after the season, just a couple of weeks ago, he was traded to the Cowboys.
The Carolina Panthers select Vernon Butler.
When the Carolina Panthers decided to pick Vernon Butler with the 30th overall pick in the first round, he became the highest Louisiana Tech Bulldog pick since Troy Edwards in 1999. Now, Butler spent 4 years with the Panthers, where he wasn't the greatest player, but he wasn't bad. 4 years with the Panthers, where he wasn't the greatest player, but he wasn't bad.
That shit was so uncalled for,
he had 3
gang.
forced fumbles, 8 sacks, and 10 tackles for loss in those 4 seasons. He wouldn't be signed, and it didn't help that at the end of his last season with the Panthers, he ended up punching Jack Doyle and getting kicked out the game. He would then sign a 2-year contract with the Bills, and those 2 years were the last seasons we saw of him in the NFL.
The Chicago Bears select Kevin White.
I know some people are going to say Mr. Trubisky is the Bears' worst first-round pick. No, it's Kevin White. At least Mr. Trubisky showed
I don't know
some
who Kevin
promise
White is. I
and
ain't
looked
gonna
good
lie.
at one point. Kevin White never did that. I mean, Kevin White was cool in college. He was first-team All-American. He was first-team All-Big 12. He put up some solid numbers.
Oh, he played at West
Crazy,
VA?
but he was still picked 7th overall. Now, it all wasn't White's fault, though. Before his rookie season, he
Damn,
was suffering a
nigga.
shin injury that would put him on
You gotta
the
catch those. I ain't gonna lie.
list. And
This is
then-
an NFL
before
type
his
catch you
crazy,
gotta
but he
make,
was
bro.
still
If you
picked
want to be an
7th
elite
overall.
receiver,
Now, it all
you gotta
wasn't White's
know how to
fault.
track the ball over your shoulder.
His
Right
rookie
through his
season,
hands.
He suffered a shin injury that would put him on the PUP list, and then he would be ruled out for his whole rookie season. It didn't help that the next season he played 4 games, and then he
Ooh, what a
fractured his
catch.
fibula and was placed on IR. The very next season, he suffered a shoulder blade injury, which was
Damn, this
now a
nigga
couple
could
weeks
never
off.
stay healthy.
White played 1 more season with the Bears. Then after that, he played for the Cardinals, 49ers, and Saints, and then his football career would be ended.
The Cincinnati Bengals select John Ross.
Oh boy.
John Ross in college was good, but he's mostly known now for breaking the combine record for the 40-yard
Well, now he's
dash
broken by
until
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy broke it last year. Now, John Ross
Yeah,
was
last
already
year.
supposed to be a first-round pick, as that was his projection, but of course, with the 40 time being so great, it boosted his draft stock. Although after being selected by the Bengals and making it to the NFL, Ross could not live up to the expectations of being the 9th overall pick. Sadly, during his rookie season, he would disappoint. He had no receiving stats, and he only had 1 touch during the season, and that was on a run where he ended up fumbling.
Damn.
During his rookie season, Ross only played 3 games, started 1
Yo.
game. That was his only touch of the season, and that would basically be his career as a Bengal. Injuries would basically be the story of his career, as he played 3 games his rookie season,
Oh, shit, he
13
probably
games his
pulled his
second
groin.
season, 8 games, and then 3 games, and that basically ended his tenure as a Bengal. He had a season with the Giants, and then
I
after that, he
remember
had a
that.
season with the Eagles. Never really did anything with those 2 teams either. You'll probably see him on
Shit,
some
if you
practice
can't
squad.
do anything with the Eagles, bro, you can't do anything at all. Like
This
between the
offseason.
Eagles and
And
Chiefs,
also, I'm surprised
if you
not
can't
every
ball out
team
with them, bro,
uses
you
on
can't
special
ball out with
teams.
nobody else.
The Cleveland Browns select Trent Richardson.
The
Oh
Browns
boy,
had
I
a long
remember
list of
this
names you
name.
could have chose. I chose Trent Richardson. It came down to Richardson or Manziel. I
Yo.
decided on Richardson because he was the number 3 overall pick. It's actually crazy looking back on this pick because he's a running back being chose with the number 3 overall pick.
That
And
is crazy.
now
Now,
a
this is
running back will
exactly
never be
why we don't see running backs going like the top 5
chosen
anymore,
with the
bro.
Number 3 overall pick. His career started off pretty solid. Richardson had 950 yards and 11 rushing touchdowns, but 2 games into his sophomore season, he would then be traded to the Colts. After his 2nd and 3rd season in the league, he would be
Hold up,
eligible
hold up.
because
Go
he was
back,
still
go
pretty
back.
solid. Richardson had 950 yards and 11 rushing touchdowns, but 2 games into his sophomore season, he would then be traded to the Colts.
So after him going for almost 1,000 yards and having 11 touchdowns his rookie year, you trade him the next season. Typical Browns activity, bro.
After his 2nd and 3rd season in the league,
Typical
he would be
Browns
out of the
activity.
league. Now, if you don't know, a big reason why he was out of the league so early was due to his poor vision, and there's probably videos on YouTube you can find.
He didn't
talking
cut
about
back
it.
here?
He spent some time in the CFL
Oh my
and
gosh.
AAF, but now he's
That's
a running backs
Le'Veon
coach
Bell.
at
He hitting
Hoover
that
High
hole.
School in
Pause.
Hoover, Alabama.
The Dallas Cowboys select Taco Charlton.
I think I remember
With the
hearing
20th
about this
overall
name.
pick in the draft, everybody knew the Cowboys needed defense, so instead of
first
going
name is
TJ
really
Watt, they
Taco.
decided to go Taco.
That's
Charlton.
got to be a nickname,
Early on,
right?
Charlton showed a little bit of flashes. His first season, he had 19 total tackles in just 16 games. He also had 1 forced fumble and 3 sacks. Now, in the
Okay.
offseason, going into his 2nd year, the media tried to create a narrative that he was falling out of favor with the defensive coaching staff, but that simply wasn't the case, as he started the first 7 games of the season. But after starting the first 7 games, in the 8th game of the season, he would get hurt against the Titans, and that would limit the rest of his playing time, as he only played 27 more snaps. And after a couple injuries in the offseason, it looked like he was going to start the next season as well, but he was a healthy scratch, and then he tweeted out "Free me," and after that, he got released. Charlton got picked up by the Dolphins. He led them in sacks during the season with 5, but he never got a second contract with them.
Bro, do you know how bad your defense got to be for you to lead the team with 5 sacks?
After that, he got picked up
That
by a
is
couple
crazy,
teams,
bro.
but it was just for the practice squad, and now he's in the UFL where he just won a championship.
Yes, Sirski. Tim Tebow. Oh my gosh.
Now with Tim
Wasn't
Tebow
he
for the
like? Wasn't he
Broncos-
projected going like the 3rd round, bro?
He got them to the
That's
playoffs,
tough.
so I can see your argument to why he shouldn't be on here. Now, Tebow is one of the best, if not the best, college football quarterback of all time. But in the NFL, he wasn't projected to be all that great. Tebow's first season in the NFL, he didn't really do much, started 3 games, but the next season is where he made a crazy impact. As the Broncos started out 1-3, and they
Was this the season where he had that overtime strike to Demaryius Thomas against Pittsburgh
and they had 4
in the
come from
playoffs?
behind wins. Tebow led the Broncos to the playoffs. In the wild card game, they played the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I think this was the
where
game.
Tebow connected to Demaryius Thomas
first
for the
play
game
overtime.
touchdown in the overtime. Tebow and the Broncos
RP
were losing the
Demaryius,
division
man.
around to the Patriots. Actually, they were blown out, if I'm not mistaken. But you just have to be around for this season. I mean, Tebow was everywhere. He had the world Tebowing. He was like a fan favorite. In the offseason, though, the Broncos would decide to sign Peyton Manning, and Tebow would get traded to the Jets, and he would play just 12 more games in the NFL. He would get signed by a couple more teams, but wouldn't play any games. They even tried to move his
Tebow
position to tight
Patriots
end.
flex.
And after being cut by the Jaguars in 2021, he would then retire and become an analyst on ESPN.
Okay.
Detroit Lions select Jeff Okudah.
Oh
The Detroit
boy.
Lions decided to pick Jeff Okudah with the 3rd overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft.
I thought he was
And it
gonna be
made
the next
sense because
superstar
in
too,
college,
bro. He was
the
really
best
good at
DB
Ohio
on
State.
one of the best defenses. He was a unanimous All-American, and he was first team All-Big Ten. Okudah's first 2 years were shook up by injury. Before he started his rookie season, he dealt with a hamstring injury, and then after playing 9 games, he dealt with a core muscle injury.
Yeah, so I hate
and then
injuries,
going into
bro.
his second season, just 1 game in, he tore his Achilles tendon.
Damn.
Okudah did play 15 games in
Ooh, what a
2022,
tackle.
having 7 pass deflections and 1 interception, but the Lions decided that he was not worth keeping, so they traded him to Atlanta.
He can never
where
stay
there
healthy,
he wasn't
bro.
really
You
that
know what I'm
good
saying?
either, so they didn't
The
resign
best ability is availability, bro.
him
And that's
either
something
after
he
the
didn't
season.
have. Gang.
Last offseason, he signed a 1-year contract with the Houston Texans where he only played 6 games, and just recently he signed with the Minnesota Vikings, and this might be one
word?
of his last stops in the NFL, possibly.
Green Bay Packers select Derek Sherrard.
Fresh off a Super Bowl
Ooh.
win, the Green Bay Packers decided to elect Derek Sherrod to bolster up their offensive line. In college, Sherrod was an All-American and he made the All-SEC team twice, but in the NFL, his career was riddled by injuries. The first injury happened on December 18th of 2011, where linebacker Tamba Hall rolled onto his leg, and this caused Sherrod to break his leg, and he would miss the rest of the season and the entire 2012 season. To start the 2013 season, Sherrod was placed on the PUP list, and he wouldn't get activated until November 5th of 2013, and then November 3rd of 2014, he would be waived. Sherrod was signed with the Chiefs, but they decided to cut him too, and that would end his NFL career.
The Houston
tough.
Texans select Kenyon Green.
Oh.
Guard
Ain't he on the Eagles
Kenyon
now,
Green's
bro?
career so far has been a disappointment.
That
In
nigga
his
was
rookie
horrible.
season,
I ain't
his
gonna lie.
PFF grade was 37.7,
Yo.
which ranked 77th out of 77.
Because I think he was
overall.
involved in that trade
He
for
allowed
CJ.
47 quarterback pressures, 12 quarterback hits, 4 sacks, and he committed 12 penalties. He was placed on injury reserve before the 2023 season. Even though he got activated before the season was over, he still never played a game. Just this past season, Green played in 12 games, started 9 of those games, but after being underwhelming, the Texans then decided to trade him to the Eagles in the offseason. Maybe with a change of scenery.
Hey, at least he went to the Eagles, bro. So he might ball out this year because people thought Mekhi Becton was horrible. You know what I'm saying? Before he went to Philly, then he had his best season. So we might see another trend with Kenyon Green. So never know.
Anthony Richardson.
Oh boy.
Coming out of
It's a
Florida,
make or break
Anthony
season for
Richardson
him
was
this
seen
year,
as the
man.
biggest
I really
prospect
want him
in
to
the
ball out.
2023 NFL draft. He was one of those prospects where if you put it all together, he could be like a Hall
He's
of
just an
Famer, one of the
athlete
best
and
quarterbacks
got a
in the
strong
league.
arm. That's
Or
about it.
If you don't, well, you was probably gonna be drafting that position again in a couple of drafts. In Richardson's first year, he looked like he was more boom than bust. He had 577 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1
He just
interception.
he gotta stay
Only
healthy
downside
too,
is
bro.
that he only played 4
He
games.
too
was
damn
injured.
fragile
But this last
for him
season,
to
he
be
looked
like,
more
what,
bust than
6'4",
boom because he had
250?
1,800 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. His completion percentage dropped from 59 to 47. He fumbled 9 times with 3 of those fumbles. He got benched eventually for Joe Flacco, but he came back in for Joe Flacco also because Flacco was playing terrible. And this upcoming season is Richardson's last chance to prove himself to be the Colts' future quarterback.
Jacksonville Jaguars select
CJ Henderson?
C.J. Henderson.
Yup.
In 2020, with the 9th overall pick, the Jaguars decided to take C.J. Henderson. Henderson's rookie season was okay. He had 6 pass deflections, 1 interception.
Where is
only
he-
played
where
8
is he at
games
now?
because he was placed
Last
on
time I
injury
saw
reserve.
he was on
In
the
2021, just 2
Texans,
games
I
in,
believe.
he was traded to the Panthers, where he spent 3
They
seasons.
signed
afterwards.
CJ
In
and
his preseason with
Okuda the
Panthers,
same year.
Henderson totaled 10 pass deflections and 2 interceptions. Then last offseason, he signed with the Texans, but he
Yeah.
was released before the season started. The Steelers ended up
God.
picking him up, and he spent the rest of the season with them. And I couldn't find anywhere to say that he was going to spend next season with the Steelers.
The Kansas City Chiefs select Jonathan Baldwin.
The Chiefs decided to take
Jonathan
Jonathan
Baldwin.
Baldwin.
I feel like I heard
26th
that name
overall
before.
pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, and well, his career was only 3 years. Baldwin spent 2 of those 3 years in Kansas City.
Yeah,
where he
okay,
had
this
561
is
receiving
the
yards
catch
and
you
2
made.
touchdowns.
Okay, now I remember this nigga.
Kansas City decided to trade Baldwin to the 49ers for A.J. Jenkins, and in San Francisco, he only played 7 games, and then after that, he went to the Lions where they waived him, and that would end his NFL career.
The Las Vegas Raiders select Alex Leatherwood.
Listen,
Oh,
I never
boy.
got why the Raiders drafted Alex Leatherwood with the 17th overall pick. Leatherwood was really overrated.
Didn't they,
in
like,
college. He wasn't
cut
all
him
that
in
great.
his
And
sophomore
you know what happened
year?
when he got to the NFL?
Or
He
right
played on
before his
Raiders for a
sophomore year?
season, and then he got cut. Leatherwood was so bad, they tried to change him from tackle to guard, and it still didn't work out. He signed with the Bears, got cut from there, signed with the Browns, then get another contract, then signed with the Chargers, and got cut also.
Oh
At some
my
point during this
gosh.
offseason, he'll get signed again, and he'll probably get cut again.
The Los
Yo.
Angeles Chargers select Kenneth Murray.
The Chargers decided to take
Oh,
Kenneth Murray with
shit.
the 23rd
I think Kenneth
overall
Murray
pick
with
in
the
the
Cowboys
2020
now.
NFL draft. And honestly, coming out of Oklahoma, I thought he was going to be way better. On the stat sheet,
Yeah, he's
Murray's
just
numbers
pure
look good. He
athlete,
had
for
2
real, for
seasons
real.
with the Chargers with 107 tackles and a couple pass deflections.
Hopefully he
But in
can,
reality,
you know what I'm
Murray
saying,
struggled
learn
making
from, I
solo
think,
tackles,
Eric,
and
is
he
Eric
struggled with
Kendrick
pass
still on the
coverage,
Cowboys?
And he was pretty
If so, he
underwhelming
can
for
learn
his
behind
4
him.
years on the Chargers.
You know what I'm saying?
After those 4 years, the Chargers didn't re-sign him. He signed a 2-year contract with the Titans, and he wasn't all that great with the Titans either. So in the offseason, they decided to package him up and ship him off to Dallas. Murray is just one of them players that look better on the stat sheet than they do in person.
The St. Louis Rams select Greg Robinson.
In the
I don't know who that
2014
is,
draft,
I
the
ain't gonna
Rams had 2 first-round picks, one being Aaron Donald, but with the 2nd overall pick, they chose Greg Robinson. Now, Robinson was a good run blocker, but he wasn't polished as a pass blocker. He also struggled with weight problems. Robinson's weight problem got so bad that he showed up 15 pounds overweight in 2016 to training camp. That led to him being inefficient on the field, as through the first 10 games, he had 12 penalties. In 2017, the Rams signed
Laramie
Andrew
Tunsil.
Whitworth, and the writing was on the wall for Robinson, as they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, and then he would become a free agent. Robinson signed with the Lions, then they waived him. After that, he signed with the Browns, where in week 1 of the 2019 season, he kicked Titan safety.
Okay,
Kenny
bro.
Vaccaro in the
What
head.
is up with these big niggas kicking and hitting and shit? I blame Vince Wilfork for this shit. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think that nigga started the trend. Then Ndamukong Suh started doing it. Then that nigga, I think then this nigga, then Myles Garrett hitting Mason Rudolph with a helmet. Like, what's
After
up with that,
season, he
gang?
never got re-signed. Then we heard from him after he got arrested in 2020 for having 156 pounds of weed on him. And after
What?
that, he
Nah,
got
I ain't
fired
gonna
because
lie.
he got
Free
arrested
that
with
nigga,
a car
bro.
on the head. After that season, he never got re-signed. Then we heard from him again after he got arrested in 2020 for having 156 pounds of weed on him.
I ain't gonna lie,
And after
that's
that,
crazy.
He got 5 years of probation. But in 2022, he was caught with over $120,000 worth of illegal drugs on him.
The Miami
What the
Dolphins
fuck?
select
Okay, yeah, that
Deion
nigga.
Jordan.
That nigga. Wow,
With the 3rd pick in the 2013 NFL draft, the Dolphins got Deion Jordan out of Oregon. Jordan's first year was solid. He played all 16 games, had 26 tackles, 2 sacks, but in his second year, he would get suspended after the first 4 games for using PEDs, and then he was suspended again for using PEDs once again in the same season. He was suspended a
Bruh.
3rd time, but this time for a full season. So in 2015 and 2016, he did not play, and then
What
in
Stephen A.
2017,
Smith say?
he went to the
Stay
Seahawks.
off the
2016
drugs.
with The Seahawks, he was just
Or is
an
it
okay
weed?
player. He was signed with the Raiders, but he would have to serve a 10-game
I think
suspension
I
because
said
he
it
was
wrong,
caught
bro.
taking Adderall. He spent 7 games in Oakland, then he signed with the 49ers, where he played 13 games, and after that, his career would end. Just recently, he
That's
came
tough.
out and said that he didn't have his life in order when he got drafted, and he take full responsibility to why his career failed in the NFL.
The Minnesota Vikings select Laquan Treadwell.
Oh my
Laquan
gosh.
Treadwell was seen as
Ravens
one of the best
legend
blocking
Laquan
receivers
Treadwell.
and a guy that can win 50-50 balls, but
Yo.
he ran a 4.65 40, so he wasn't seen as a quick guy. And Treadwell did struggle his first year, played 9
He was
games,
supposed to be a
15
dog,
yards.
man.
The next 2 seasons, he technically would
Ooh.
improve as he got more yards and more touchdowns, but it didn't matter because it wasn't good enough. So after his 5th year, they decided not to keep him. Treadwell will have a career year in Jacksonville where he had 434 receiving yards and a touchdown, but it still wasn't good enough. After that season, Treadwell played for 3 more teams, with the most recent team being the Colts. My guess is he gets signed to somebody's practice squad and maybe plays eventually this upcoming season.
The New England Patriots select
Yeah.
Dominic Easley.
Easley was
That
by far
quality
the
was
Patriots'
crazy,
worst
I ain't
first
gonna
round
lie.
pick since 2010. Easley really didn't do much his first year, but in his second year, he was expected to step up because the
Bro,
Patriots lost a
Luck was about to
long-time
get
defender,
decapitated.
Vince Wilfork. Easley never stepped up, though, and the Patriots decided to release him after his second year. He signed with the Rams, where he had 35 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles, but in his second offseason with the Rams, he would tear his ACL and he'd be ruled out for an entire season. The next year, he was expected to come back, but he had another knee surgery at some point during the season, and he was placed on IR and never played another down in the NFL again.
The New Orleans Saints select Peyton Turner.
He with the Cowboys now too.
28th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Turner's career was kind of plagued by injuries. So far, Turner has only played in 31 out of a possible 68 games. His rookie season, he had a shoulder injury that kept him out for a lot of games. Then in 2023, he had a turf toe injury that kept him out for most of the season. 5 games, 8 games, 2 games, and then 16 games is how many games he's played each season. And right now, he only has 50 tackles and 5 sacks. Recently, Turner has signed with the Cowboys, and this will be a prove year for him, as this could be the last year he's on the NFL roster.
The New York Giants select Eric Flowers.
In 2015, the Giants selected Eric Flowers 9th overall, and really he never showed too much promise on the field. Just 3 years in the league, he already given up 169 total pressures, and he collected numerous.
Excuse me, hold up, go back.
Flowers 9th overall, and really he never showed too much promise on the field. Just 3 years in the league, he already given up.
3. Man, I don't know why I thought he said 1 year. 3. I mean, that's still a lot, but I thought he said 1 year for his age.
Pressures, and he collected numerous penalties. Geoff Schwartz, NFL analyst and former teammate of Flowers, accused him of quitting on the team, having poor technique, and missing multiple blocks. The Giants eventually will release him, and then a couple years later, he actually signed the Dolphins, where he earned a 3-year, $30 million contract.
Cut that shit. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That nigga, he need to cut this shit.
Release him, and then a couple years later, he actually signed the Dolphins, where he earned a 3-year, $30 million contract. Okay. Just a little over a year after signing that contract, the Dolphins would trade him to Washington, and then Washington would then release him, and he wouldn't play in the NFL again.
Damn.
The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
In the quarterback-loaded class, Zach Wilson was chosen 2nd overall, and, well, he probably shouldn't have been. Every year with the Jets, Wilson threw more interceptions than he did touchdowns, and he also never had a winning record with the Jets.
Exactly why you don't go based off the combine.
Off to the Broncos. Wilson never played a game in Denver, and now he's currently on.
I still got faith in him though, because like it's the Jets. You know what I'm saying? So if he goes somewhere and he like balls out. You know what I'm saying? He is he with the Dolphins now?
Denver, and now he's currently on the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's on the Dolphins now. So, hey, if Tua somehow, you know what I'm saying, either plays shit or gets hurt again, Zach Wilson step up, and I think Zach Wilson will ball out. You know what I'm saying? With if Tyreek Hill is still on the team, you know what I'm saying. You got Jalen Waddle as well, so he might be in a good spot right now. I'm not gonna lie. Jalen
Reagor.
Today, Jalen Reagor is most known for the guy that got picked before Justin Jefferson.
Crazy.
Before that, Reagor was known as a wide receiver that had really great potential, but he never really showed it. As his first year, he had almost 400 yards and 1 touchdown. Then his next year with the Eagles, he had almost 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. And despite him looking okay in the return game, the Eagles would still release him, and then he got picked up by the Vikings. With the Vikings, Reagor had 104 receiving yards, and then he went to the Patriots the next season where he only had 138 receiving yards. In the 2024 offseason, Reagor was signed with the Chargers, and despite him not playing a game last season, the Chargers still signed him last month.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
The Steelers were looking for their quarterback since Big Ben retired, so they decided to pick Kenny Pickett. Stat-wise, it looked like Kenny Pickett really didn't show too much. He had 2,400 passing yards and 7 touchdowns. I still can't get over that, bro. Like
this is the most bullshit touchdown of all time.
Stat-wise, it looked like Kenny Pickett really didn't show too much. He had 2,400 passing yards and 7 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. But at the end of his rookie season, the last 2 weeks, he had 2 back-to-back game-winning drives. The following season, he had 2,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He just wasn't good enough to prove to the Steelers that he was the future quarterback. In the offseason, the Steelers traded Pickett to the Eagles, and then he went on to play 5 games for the Eagles, win the Super Bowl with them, and the Eagles traded him to the Browns, where Eagles, and then he went on to play.
Who that back there? I mean, it ain't much, you know what I'm saying? But it's something, you feel me? Them jeans are tight as shit, though. I just know she getting a yeast infection from that shit, but.
5 games for the Eagles, win the Super Bowl with them, and the Eagles traded him to the Browns, where he have a chance to once again become a starting quarterback.
San Francisco 49ers select A.J. Jenkins.
This one's going to be short.
I thought it was going to be Aldon Smith.
He's one of my favorite Illinois players. In the NFL, Jenkins just wasn't good. He had 1 target in his rookie season where he dropped a pass. In the offseason, he got traded to the Chiefs for another bust, John Baldwin. On the Chiefs, he had 17 receptions, but he never did anything with his NFL career. He signed with the Cowboys, got released by them, and that was the end of his career. I couldn't find a video for the draft pick, but the Seahawks' worst draft pick was L.J. Collier. Collier spent 4 seasons with the Seahawks where he had 5 pass deflections, 3 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, and 40 total tackles. The problem was Collier couldn't stay healthy in Seattle. He went to Arizona where he had one non-healthy season and one healthy season, and this offseason he just signed a one-year deal with them again.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Vernon Hargraves III.
Like many others on this list, Vernon Hargraves III couldn't stay healthy.
See a corner?
He had one fully healthy season, that was his rookie year, where he played 16 games. After that, he played 9 games, 1 game, and then 9 games once again. It was a similar story when he went to Houston, as he played 6 games, 16 games, and then 8 games. His last stop was in Cincinnati, where he played 4 games, and overall Hargraves' stats aren't that bad. I mean, he has 31 pass deflections and 4 interceptions.
The Tennessee Titans select Isaiah Wilson, tackle, Georgia.
I can't cover
Yeah,
much
I
about
think I
Isaiah
remember
Wilson's
this
NFL
name.
career because he only played 4 snaps. Wilson went from the Titans to
Because
the Dolphins to the
I just
Giants.
I just reacted to a vid about, I think it was the 2020 NFL draft or something like that. I remember.
And
this
one,
dude.
he wasn't good when he played. On top of that, he was late to practices, late to team meetings, and it didn't help that he got arrested a couple times. He
Of
tried
course,
to become a rapper.
you
He
can't be a Georgia Bulldog if you never got arrested, bro. At one point,
looked at
Real
that as
shit.
well, and well, he's not in the NFL no more, and he's not a good rapper. Who knows what he's doing now?
Well, now we have our third quarterback on, and that is
R.I.P. Dwayne Haskins, man.
I don't think Dwayne Haskins would have been an elite starter, but I do think his career got altered because the Commanders rushed him to be the starter. Haskins' 2 seasons in Washington, he threw for 2,800 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. At the time, Dwayne Haskins was a guy that probably needed to sit a year, but Jay Gruden was on a hot seat and he wanted wins, so he decided to start Haskins. After his 2 years in Washington,
That Kevin
Gruden was on
O'Connell?
a hot seat and he wanted wins, so he
fuck?
decided.
Why all the you know what I'm saying, good head coaches now used to coach for Washington? Because I think Kyle Shanahan, I think Sean McVay as well used to be a coach of some sort on the Redskins as well. That's crazy. I ain't
To
gonna lie.
start Haskins. After his 2 years in Washington, Haskins ended up on the Steelers, where he never played a game, and he tragically passed away in 2022 after being
RIP,
hit
man.
by a dump truck. And that's every NFL team's worst first-round pick since 2010. Some of these picks were bad because some players end up being injury-prone, and some of these picks were bad because the players just were bad, and it was some bad drafting by the GMs. But let me know what y'all agree with and disagree with down in the comment section below. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Hey man, make sure y'all go subscribe to my boy Jalen. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Y'all let me know what other NFL videos you want to react to. Without further ado, I'm out.
I'ma make them feel me, make them people with they child me. And if you don't know me, I'ma make sure that you know me. I hate to say it, but I really think I'm broke. But I know I'm chosen, I really know I'm chosen. I know I'm chosen. I was just lost a year ago, but now I'm focused. When good at sports, this microphone can be my trophy. Not taking drugs, I found a better way of coping.